Let me tell you something I never thought I'd say out loud. I let Brenda Holloway steal my boat. Yeah, you heard that right. I stood there, cup of coffee in hand, while she strutted up my driveway in her white BMW, waving court-looking papers and barking orders at two county deputies who were about to load up my $120,000 Grady White on a flatbed. If you're thinking, dude, you lost your mind, hang tight, because you're about to see just how far one person will go for revenge, for justice, and maybe a little peace. See, that boat wasn't just fiberglass and chrome. It was the last project my wife Sarah and I finished before cancer stole her. Most people would have fought tooth and nail, hired a lawyer, called the local news, maybe thrown a punch or three. But 22 years in the Navy taught me a different kind of battle strategy. Sometimes you let the enemy walk right into their own trap. So when this HOA tyrant Brenda, all designer shoes and self-importance, decided to target the one thing I still had connecting me to Sarah, I didn't swing back. I got creative. The smell of diesel from the flatbed mixing with Brenda's perfume, the sound of my neighbor's sprinklers kicking on the Florida sun burning down. It all felt unreal, like a movie where the bad guy's winning. And Brenda waved at me like she'd just conquered Everest without realizing she'd just signed her own doom. Now let's rewind. My name's Marcus Kellerman, and 3 years back I thought I'd found paradise, a corner lot in Pelican Shores, Florida. Just me and Sarah, a couple dreams, and a beat-up Grady White we called our retirement project. Salt air, sunrise coffees, and that boat bought for $3,000 and nursed back to life over years of busted knuckles and stubborn love. But cancer doesn't care about plans. One morning I woke up and Sarah was gone. Just like that, at 52, I was a widower with 2 college daughters and a house echoing with memories. The only thing that kept me sane, that boat. I dragged it out front and poured 18 months of grief into making it shine new. Electronics, custom seats, paint that looked like you could fall into it. Appraisers called it a masterpiece. I called it therapy. Brenda called it a violation. She showed up on a Tuesday, sweating but immaculate, blonde highlights, white BMW parked sideways in the drive, clipboard like a sword. "We need to discuss your vehicle situation," she said, barely glancing at me. She jabbed a finger at my boat like it was hazardous waste. "Violates community aesthetics. Too large, too visible, frankly inappropriate for a neighborhood of our caliber." I tried to keep my cool. "I got city permits. It's legal," she snorted. "Legal isn't suitable, Mr. Kellerman. Some residents..." She meant the rich ones are given more understanding. Right then I knew what I was up against. Not rules, power, her power. And her campaign was just starting. That night I called my daughters. Emily, future lawyer, said document everything. Grace, the business major, suggested digging into Brenda's past. Good girls, smart. I started keeping records. And man, I found stuff that would make a Navy spook jealous. Brenda wasn't just bossy, she was running a harassment operation. If you weren't rich, connected, or convenient, she made you miserable. 3 days later, she showed up with her brother-in-law Derrick County Inspector badge, thick clipboard, the works. He found all sorts of violations, drainage, electrical, environmental hazards. Gave me 30 days. Fines after that. I called Lou Brennan, my neighbor, 70, retired maritime lawyer, more crust than a loaf of bread. Lou came over with coffee strong enough to clean spark plugs and a grin that said he'd seen it all. Let me guess. He said little Napoleon found some problems. We looked through the citations. Lou cackled. Derrick doesn't have Marine certification. He can't inspect a rowboat, let alone your Grady White. Lou called up Rita Castellanos, ex-city clerk, living, breathing encyclopedia of local government dirt. Rita got us the real dirt. Brenda had never filed her HOA paperwork. No annual disclosures, nothing. No legal authority to enforce anything. And half the board they'd moved out years ago. Brenda was rubber stamping her own projects, making up the rules. That night, I started collecting evidence photos of every violation. Brenda ignored Henderson's RV parked halfway in the street, Carmichael's pro basketball hoop, Brenda's own white fence 6 inches too high. But I kept my powder dry. Sometimes you let them think they're winning. Brenda escalated. She filed complaints, mailed glossy flyers to every mailbox, called Channel 7 News. Suddenly, my boat was the enemy of community excellence. She held a meeting, lights buzzing, neighbors twitching, news cameras rolling. Her slideshow made my boat look like a monster. But Lou had already figured out Brenda's signature collection scam. She'd bought votes from families behind on HOA dues. After the meeting, I caught the reporter Jessica Jules in the parking lot, gave her a thick folder and said, "Check Brenda's legal authority. Ask about her finances. And look at her violations." Jessica's eyes lit up. She smelled blood in the water. The next day, Jessica called Brenda had done this before. 3 other neighborhoods. Same scam, same playbook. And then Rita called with the mother lode, the original covenants. My boat was grandfathered in, immune from all Brenda's bans. Proof in hand, we built a case. Brenda doubled down, tried to file a $47,000 lien on my house. Patricia Vance, maritime law bulldog, took one look and laughed. "This is a confession, Marcus. Fraudulent liens are criminal." But Lou wasn't done. He dug into the HOA books and found Brenda was siphoning off thousands for administrative expenses. She was paying lawyers to chase me with stolen community funds. Patricia found out Brenda's lawyers had already been sanctioned for bogus lawsuits. All the while, Brenda's paranoia grew. She hired private investigators to stalk me, spread rumors I was violent, even filed a false police report claiming I'd threatened her. The local sergeant saw through it, shook his head, and started writing up Brenda for her own crimes. Meanwhile, we prepped the perfect sting. Patricia had me move the boat to a public marina, made it look like I couldn't afford storage. Lou spread the word I was broke. Rita documented every move. GPS trackers, cameras, FBI on standby. Jessica Jules's crew in a disguised news van. Brenda bit hard. She called, said my boat would be seized. Showed up in her BMW, deputies in tow with forged court orders. I acted desperate, begged them not to take it. Every moment caught on camera, every word recorded. Brenda posed for selfies announcing my defeat. But as my boat disappeared, the GPS pinged the FBI and the whole neighborhood watched. That night at the big HOA meeting, Brenda stood at the podium basking in glory. I walked in late, apologized for the traffic, and played Derek's bribery recording over the speakers. Then Brenda's false police report. Then Rita dumped out the paperwork, embezzlement, fraud, you name it. And then the FBI texted target secured. Arrest proceeding. Agents walked in and cuffed Brenda right in front of her banners and news cameras. The room exploded, slow clap from Lou residents on their feet. Justice living in color. Brenda got 3 years in prison. Restitution. Her sidekicks went down too. The community kicked out the old board and elected Rita president. We got rid of the petty restrictions, Henderson's RV legal. Carmichael's Hoop, a neighborhood character enhancement. My boat restoration declared part of our maritime heritage. And the settlement money went to the Sarah Kellerman Foundation scholarships for kids, a new community pier, Saturday boat restoration classes for local teens. 3 years later, Pelican Shores is a real community, neighbors helping neighbors, not afraid of petty tyrants. Jessica's documentary won awards and sparked new laws to protect folks from HOA abuse. And me, I start every day on that dock with my coffee, the salt air, and Sarah's boat proof that love outlasts storms, bullies, even Brenda Holloway. Here's the thing I learned the hard way. Sometimes the best way to fight back isn't with fists, but with patient smarts and a few good friends who've got your back. You document, you strategize, you don't let bullies win. And when justice comes, let everyone see it. So what about you, ever tangled with an HOA dictator or petty bureaucrat? Where's the line between rules and tyranny, between standing up and letting things go? Drop a comment with your wildest neighborhood battle, your thoughts on justice, and let's show each other how communities get stronger when we stand together. And hey, hit that subscribe button, there's plenty more where this came from. Next time, maybe it's your sanity, your savings, or your home on the line, but now you know how to fight back.